Some stories should never be told.
The Watcher's Protocol. Chapter 1. The Note Under the Typewriter. The battered Jeep of the Ranger Service gave one final dry roar before the engine cut out. Silence descended instantly, heavy and viscous, as if the air at this altitude held its own specific weight. Elias stepped out, his boots crunching loudly against the gravel. Before him stood Fire Lookout Tower Number 4, a box of wood and glass perched precariously atop 4 rusted steel legs, towering over the tallest pines in the Blackwood Forest by at least 30 feet. "We're here," old Ranger Holloway said, not looking at him. He hauled Elias's backpack from the rear seat and dumped it onto the dirt. Supplies for 2 weeks. Water in the cistern. Channel 9 on the radio for emergencies. The rest is on you. Elias shouldered his pack, glancing at the older man. "You're not coming up to walk me through it." Holloway froze. He looked up at the peak of the tower, his eyes shifting between fear and relief. "My knees can't handle those 200 steps anymore. The key is under the doormat. Good luck, Elias. You're going to need it." Less than 2 minutes later, the Jeep had turned around and vanished behind the bend, leaving Elias alone in the heart of the wilderness. The climb was torture. The metal stairs vibrated violently with every step, and the wind whistled through the gaps like broken flutes. When Elias finally heaved open the heavy trapdoor to crawl into the cabin, he was gasping for air, his shirt soaked in sweat despite the 50-degree chill. The room was square, walled in by glass on all 4 sides. The panoramic view of Blackwood Valley was breathtaking and terrifying. It was too vast, and Elias was too small. The interior was sparse: a single cot, a small propane stove, a desk with a radio, and an ancient Remington typewriter. Elias tossed his bag onto the cot. He needed this money. 3 months of isolation for 15 grand. A bargain for just sitting around watching trees and reporting smoke. He walked to the desk to check the radio. Next to the typewriter sat a thick folder labeled Standard Operating Procedures. But what caught Elias's eye wasn't the official manual. It was a yellowed, crinkled piece of paper, its edges jagged as if torn in a hurry from a notebook, taped directly onto the desk surface. The handwriting was jagged, the pen pressed down so hard it had nearly torn through the paper. To the new guy, read before sunset. "Welcome to Tower 4. The service gave you a thick book on how to read maps and fight fires. Read it if you want. But if you want to survive tonight and the next 89 nights, follow this list. This is not a joke. I am writing this with my only remaining hand. 1. Always lock the trapdoor before 6 p.m. It doesn't matter if you hear someone climbing the stairs. No one comes up here at that hour. Not people. 2. Do not look into the mirror after 3:03 a.m. If you slip up and see a reflection blinking when you aren't, smash the mirror immediately. You have 10 seconds before it steps out. 3. The radio will turn on by itself at midnight. You will hear static. Sometimes, beneath the static, there is a woman singing a lullaby. Do not sing along. Do not even hum the melody. 4. If you see an old oak tree in the north move its position, close the blinds. Trees don't have legs. That thing is just trying to get closer every time you blink. 5. Most important. If you see a man in a yellow raincoat standing at the base of the tower, waving for you to come down, check your food supply. If a can of meat is missing, it means he is already inside the room with you. In that case, the only option is to jump out the window. The fall will be kinder than what he will do to you. Good luck. Don't let the fire go out. Don't let your mind go out. Elias finished reading and laughed out loud. His laugh echoed in the glass box, sounding hollow and forced. "These rangers have too much free time," he muttered, crumpling the paper into a ball and tossing it into the metal trash can in the corner. Trying to scare the rookie? Classic. He turned his back, beginning to unpack his bag. A can of beans, 2 packs of noodles, and a bottle of whiskey he'd smuggled in. Clack. A sound came from the direction of the trash can. Elias turned around. The paper he had just crumpled and thrown away was now lying perfectly flat on the desk, right next to the typewriter. The jagged handwriting seemed redder than before, looking less like ink and more like dried blood. Outside, the sun began to dip behind the mountain range, staining the entire forest in a deep blood red. And in that moment, Elias realized the bolt on the floor trapdoor was still unlocked. The clock on the wall read 5:59 p.m.
The story isn't over.